Hello, everybody. I'm ShadowRock.
I'm TGP.
And I'm Mega Quint.
Good to have you guys. Today, we are talking about the secret level Mega Man short that just dropped on Prime Video yesterday as we're recording this, but you guys are going to see this a little bit later. And fortunately, it was only 5 minutes long, which is disappointing considering other episodes in the same secret level series, which were the people that are uninformed about it. It's by the guys that made, what's it called?
Love, Death, and Robots.
Love, Death, and Robots. So it's by the same creators behind that. The whole idea behind Secret Level is they're taking a bunch of different video game franchises and making episodes about each one. Mega Man got the short end of the stick, about 5 minutes if you take away the credits. Other episodes got there's like another one that got 5 minutes as well, but there's other ones that got like 10, 15, 20 minutes, which is a bit more generous, so that's disappointing, but getting that out of the way, I guess we can just get it right into it, right? So it begins with Dr. Light going down this hallway in his lab, and he's watching the news on his tablet, and they're going off about how robots are attacking the city, and Dr. Light can't come up with a solution to stop them. And then Dr. Light goes, "It's unbelievable! Wily's turned to Metal Man!" Oh yeah. Oh wait, what? Metal Man?
Wait
Hold
a minute. This is the wrong game.
A little bit, because, you know, we'll find out a bit later, but this is basically Mega Man's, or Rock in this case, is origin story, like how he became Mega Man. So this would be like the beginning of Mega Man 1. What's Metal Man doing running around in Mega Man 1?
And the fact that Light implies that he's been converted also means that he might be made by Dr. Light as well. So hey, Cutmate, you're kind of redundant now.
Yep, which, yeah, it's another kind of a retcon because, as we know in the games, Dr. Wily created Metal Man to combat Mega Man as sort of a revenge against him for the last game. So that don't really line up, but thankfully the rest of the episode is pretty respectful towards the source material, I would say. So, going on a little bit further, Rock is like, "What are we gonna do?" And Dr. Light says, "Open Bay 6." Which is a nice reference because Bomb Man's number is DON 6. So Bomb Man comes out of the bay and, whew, he's huge.
He is a comically large robot, from what we know.
I was not ready for how big he was going to be.
I'll be honest. I almost just taken him for guts, and I was like, "That's just a massive man." I was like, "Oh, that's
true.
How big he is."
But like, otherwise the design is fairly faithful to the game. It's just like, you know, more robotic and synthetic-y, like all the other robot designs.
Very Bomb Man Act Zero.
Yeah, basically.
I agree with that.
Dr. Light takes his power cell and puts it into like one of his feet. He's like, "This will hopefully stop the mind control thing," because apparently what Dr. Wily has done is created these like parasite bots that run around and attack the cerebral. It's my notes here. He called it the cerebral controller for each of the robot masters. So yeah, the parasite would
let's just put it simply. Let's just put it simply here. Wily made a virus.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Except it's not. It's actual physical virus this time. You could see it running around. It actually bites Bomb Man's head and mind controls him. So oh no, that happened. But it's funny, like a little bit earlier, like I said, Dr. Light puts his power cell in his foot, and he's like, "Oh, this will hopefully stop the mind control." Narrator. He didn't.
No, it didn't.
Oh man. So yeah, oh no, Bomb Man's now mind controlled. Well, that sucks. So he goes for a punch. Dr. Light gets it fine, as well as Rock. After a bomb explosion, I'm surprised he didn't die there.
I know of all the ones you opened up the one that throws bombs in a very, I wouldn't say tight container unit, but it's pretty small, all things considering. So the fact that they're still up and kicking is kind of crazy.
Yeah, especially considering what one bomb does to Bomb Man himself.
Yeah.
Yep. It's very true. So at this point, we find out Rock. We kind of see, like, from Rock's point of view, he has this scan visor, kind of reminiscent of Metroid Prime a little bit, or you see is this ice canister on the floor, and he picks it up, attaches it to his arm that he already swapped out earlier for kind of like a tool for working on robots.
It was like a blowtorch, I believe.
Yeah, it was like a blowtorch. It was kind of funny seeing Rock just drop his hand and then he puts a blowtorch on. I guess that's how arm swapping works in this particular.
I mean, honestly, this is probably the most
incarnation.
in-depth we've ever had of Rock being a lab assistant.
I think,
yeah, for real.
yeah, like you kind of don't see that very often. You see him in the lab, but that's about it. This is like the first time you actually see him do things.
Yep. It isn't for long, but
We just saw how versatile it is, because by all accounts, what he did here is just a prelude to his variable weapon system.
yep. Because
Just not for tools.
when he attaches a ice canister to the blowtorch, it becomes a makeshift ice slasher, essentially, which was able to freeze the bomb in Bomb Man's hand and let it detonate itself on him.
Hey, that's not his weakness.
Don't worry about it.
Hey, I guess it worked. Maybe Bomb Man is weak to himself, because he went down pretty quickly thereafter. Almost fell on Dr. Light, but thankfully he's okay. So at this point, Dr. Light is like, listen, stop down yourself. Stop saying you're sorry. Because Rock is like, I'm so sorry. I almost killed you, basically. Which shows, like, yeah, even though X was made to be the Reploid or robot or whatever that is more like a human, Rock still has the capability for feeling empathy, emotion.
That was like, oh, he actually legitimately felt bad for what he did, and then of course the explosion happened, and then he just fell over. I was like, oh, so it kind of it gave like a bit of a camaraderie, sort of, between the two, even though all we know is that he's just a big man who just nearly blew up the lab.
If Bomb Man could talk, he probably would have said, dude, not cool. Because his arm's frozen.
Yep, and then about this time as well, one of Wily's virus bots, parasite bots, actually starts to attempt to mind control Rock as well. However, Rock is special because he's able to actually resist the mind control, throw it off him and shoot the ice slasher for critical damage. It just obliterates it, man.
Can't believe.
Yeah, Dr. Light is like, dang, impressive.
I'm not sure why he's actually in control of these bots remotely, or they just act on their own, but this is the smartest decision anything has ever made for villains.
I do like the concept here that Dr. Wily didn't like physically reprogram all the bots. No, he just made smaller bots to go out and mind control everything. That's pretty smart on his part.
I always thought he comically just went to every single robot and just fixed them right there and then left. And they did their own.
That's what they applied it with the games, yeah.
Yeah, he just did it and did a stupid little laugh.
Yep. But yeah, Dr. Light, like, listen, Rock, what you did was amazing. I know before when you asked me if you wanted to fight, I said, no, you're actually built to work in the lab, not outside. You know, forget that. After you saved my life, I now know this is what you're made for. It doesn't matter anymore. And so, we get to the suit up sequence where we got a really, really nice orchestral arrangement of the Wily Fortress theme from Mega Man 2. I know it's overdone at this point, but...
Another one, take a drink.
Yep, but it sounds amazing, so that's why they keep using it.
That's true. Like, you can complain about the redundancy, but at the end of the day, it's a banger. Can't complain.
Yep. So, here we can talk a little bit about the Mega Man armor itself. So, first, we get kind of introduced to the Mega Buster, which is got the classic design a little bit. You can see, like, the red gem on the end of it, which is, like, classic Mega Man, but it's also got the white stripes, like, fully charged Mega Man. And at this point, we see it kind of charge up, and he fires, and just go... It's almost like charge shot strength. It's like, whoa, charge shot in Mega Man 1? Hello?
I mean, if the other Robot Masters are Bomb Man size, he's gonna need it.
Yeah, for real. Holy crap. I also like the little touch that they put the little fire sound effect from the games when he fired it.
Yeah.
And then the armor itself, it's like a mix of classic Mega Man with fully charged Mega Man. That seems to be like the kind of thing they're going for here.
Yeah, the helmet,
What do you guys...
especially. I agree with that.
Alright. What did you guys think of the visor on the helmet, actually?
Pretty cool. Do it again, please.
About you, Clint?
Conceptually, I'm cool with it, but I also just need to see it more in motion.
True.
Oh, well, you see, we only got 5 minutes and 30 seconds of it. Isn't that enough?
I know, right? Unfortunately, like, the whole thing, most of the episodes spent on the origin story of Rock working in the lab and saving Dr. Light. But the whole Mega Man segment takes place in about like a minute, under a minute.
Yeah, it's like the
very short.
minute.
So we see Mega Man walk over to the teleporter, getting ready to go outside and fight. And Dr. Light goes, "Hey kid, we called him kid for. He's proven himself." But
hey kid,
it's fine.
You forgot something.
It's kind of nice. Yeah, hey kid, you forgot something. He throws the helmet. It's kind of a cool moment, in my opinion. I like that. But yeah, it ends on Mega Man teleporting on top of the building, overlooking the city, which is a clear reference to Mega Man 2, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Puts on the helmet, he's ready to go, and then bang! It's over.
That's it, baby. That's all you get. No more.
I believe that's all, folks.
Oh,
man. You just know the name Mega Man was never uttered in his shorts.
You're right. He was called Rock the entire time.
I think that threw me off to a loop. Like, obviously, we'd both know him as both Mega or Rock, but it's just hearing the English version saying Rock. I'm like, that's something.
The last time the name Rock was spoken in English for his name was Ruby Spears' Mega Man.
Child when those things came out. Actually, was I? How long ago was that?
But it's widely considered
was the
amongst the
90s.
fandom that Rock is supposed to be the canon way to call his non-Mega Man form.
Yeah.
But in recent games, they've been starting to call him Mega. I think the most, definitely Mega Man Powered Up did it first, I think. Then Mega Man 11 seemed to carry on that, where they kept calling him Mega.
Yeah,
So people were like, "Oh, they're retconning it."
I always thought it was just a division between the two, or like between like everywhere else in Japan, but it's quite interesting that they just his name is Rock here. And I'm like, I get it.
I'd have to look again, but I am fairly certain in Mega Man 4's intro they call him Rock there as well.
I'd have to look, but yeah, it's been a hot minute. At first, when I saw your tweet about how short it was, I'm like, it can't be that bad, right? And then I watched it myself, like literally hours before we did this discussion. I'm like, I get it. Why did you do this to me? I want more, damn it.
I had the exact same reaction. When I saw him put on the helmet, ready to go, and by the way, the music is phenomenal here. Like it swells into the Mega Man 2 title theme. It's so good.
Like it's
freaking rocked my socks off.
It's literally revving up, starting in credits,
and that's it.
Like 3 minutes of credits, by the way. I was like,
this is the final episode of those live-action superhero shows where they finally get their iconic look.
Yeah, and then it's just the biggest tease of all time, honestly.
I was actually kind of looking around at the other episodes, just to like, I'm gonna assume the credits are just along like 3 minutes. So yeah, I do see like there are some that are actually just like just about the same time as Mega Man. And then you see, I think the most comically funny one to me is Concord. That's like 15 minutes. I'm like, oh, yeah, that happened. But I do see some interesting ones too here, like Pac-Man, Warhammer, Unreal, just like, oh, so they did. And I even checked the comments as well because I was curious to see what people were thinking. And I think the general consensus is like, oh yeah, like the Warhammer and the Mega Man one was pretty cool, and the rest were just kind of there.
Well, people are turning around to Pac-Man when after it got revealed, oh yeah, there's a game for it.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I was making jokes myself, like, oh yeah, they're going to announce that Mega Man 1 through 3 remake that they were teasing in that Capcom Super Survey when they show this.
I mean, it'd be nice if something were to come of this, unlike what happened to Fully Charged.
Yeah. Speaking of, like, on that topic, we got some interesting revelations through the credits. So, in the credits for this episode, they credit the Mega Man development team in quotations, which seems to imply a development team does exist, I guess. But they also credit, specifically, Shingo Izumi, who notably joined Capcom in 2018, and he's been the producer on Monster Hunter World and Ghost Trick HD Remaster. They also credited Hiroshi Ito, producer of Monster Hunter Stories 1 and 2, and the Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak expansion. And then they also credited Stefan McCall and Yuko Abe, who those two, they oversee Capcom's TV and film operations, so it makes sense why they're there. But specifically Izumi and Ito, Rockman Corner has been speculating that those two have been added to the Mega Man development team roster, possibly in leadership roles since they have been producers in the past. But otherwise, they haven't had any credits to Mega Man games specifically. Like, their main thing has been Monster Hunter up to this point. So if they are indeed on the Mega Man team now, that's pretty interesting. But it's hard to say. Like, for all we know, they were just being supervisors on Capcom's behalf, because you have to wonder how many people are even still at Capcom that have worked on Mega Man, you know? Besides Iguchi and maybe Ishihara.
That's a good question. I wouldn't even know the answer, but I could only assume it's not as much as what it was before. I do find it a bit interesting that both Izumi and Ito are the producers. I mean, there's probably no correlation to this, but to me, when I saw those two names and then you see what they did, I kind of see the direction that the Mega Man went, because it looked very realistic, which is what World looks like, but also had like a very uh cartoony look to it, which is where Monster Hunter Stories 1 and 2 comes in my opinion. So the fact that they kind of merged the two together to look this fantastic, like they probably had a hand in that. Make a look. Sweet.
Yeah, it's hard to say if they're actually on the Mega Man team, but it's a nice thought, I guess. And I mean, even without the secret level short, there's been, a Gucci making public appearances talking about a Mega Man development team. So it seems it does exist, and they seem to be ramping up for something, but we just don't know what their actual plans are yet.
Yeah, they're definitely. I wouldn't even say cooking. I would say like stewing.
The oven is preheating.
Yeah.
Smoking. Like they put on the smoker, and it's gonna that brisket stay in there for years until it gets super nice and tender. So it's gonna be a hot minute till we eat that.
That seems to be what's going on. After all, anytime people ask Capcom about Mega Man in the investor meetings, they always say the same thing. Oh yeah, we're thinking about what to do next, essentially.
Apparently they just have this whole big, long plan for when to make a game, as we've found out recently. This big spiral is like, oh yeah, here's how he gets Mega Man out there more in the public eye and all that. And then, once we reach a certain level, we'll make a game.
Until then, here's
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
here's a figure. You can have fun with it. Go nuts. Buy the figure.
Here's a figure. Here's a crossover. Gonna have Proto Man and Wily added to Funko Fusion.
I did see that.
We did, in fact.
That was pretty funny.
I actually have a code for the game, so I could cover Mega Man. Oh. I should do that sometime.
I saw someone stream the entire game. Actually complete the game. It took like 20 hours in total. And they could not unlock Mega Man.
Oh, yikes, bro.
As in, like, they couldn't? Or they just were unlucky?
More so the latter, because I wasn't there the entire time, because that game's a piece of trash. But still.
Well, anyway. Yeah, Mega Quit is correct, though. They do have this plan that they've been doing for a while, referring to Capcom here, where they're doing things like, the secret level short that we're talking about today, the merchandise, and other public appearances that doesn't have anything to do with video games, in order to increase awareness of the IP, which I think is the right move, even though we definitely want games, but it is the right move to kind of do other things, because nowadays that's the power play. If you want to get more attention towards your IP and get more people to eventually buy the games, which Mega Man definitely needs more of that. As we talked about in the past, the current king right now being Mega Man 11, 1.9 million sales as of recently. It's good for Mega Man, amazing for Mega Man, in fact, but it's not doing Resident Evil Monster Hunter numbers. I don't think it will ever get to that point, but definitely like increasing the appeal of the series overall would be a good thing. And I think that's what they're going for.
At the same time, I can't help but wonder why specifically it is Mega Man that feels like it has to have this long plan for it, because post Game Awards now, we know that Capcom is bringing back some old IPs, like Onimusha is one of the big ones, which had an animated series a couple years ago, and we know that the game was delayed thanks to COVID, so that's happening now. But there's no big other, multimedia push for Onimusha compared to Mega Man.
Like figures and all of that. It just kind of came. I was like, oh, okay.
Of course, we have that mysterious Rockman Tyson project that's apparently been delayed due to COVID as well. Still waiting to see that one, if it still exists. But yeah, that was the point I was getting to. Like, it's a great plan on paper, but if they don't capitalize it by releasing more games, well, it's kind of a moot point.
I am kind of curious though. Like, I don't think there's any discussion to whether or not fans like this secret level. I would think the main complaint would be, why is it only 5 minutes? There'll be some people who might not like it, and that's the thing. But my bigger question is, how did the non-fans take this in? Like, were they like, oh, this is cool? Or were they like, oh, this is whatever? That's what I'm kind of curious about, to be honest. Because I think that's what they're...
It's a good point.
That's what they're trying to get, right? Because, like, there's so many Mega Man fans, to be honest with you. And they definitely need so much more, which is why I think they're doing everything in their power to be like, oh, here's a figure and here's a thing. And I do definitely feel like it's like such an overprotective, like baby proofing type deal where it's like, just do something, man. Like, it's just like, you did 11, pretty good. But I feel like that mental scarring that happened to Mega Man is like, oh, we just don't want to do that again. And it's like, they're just doing, at least that's what I think. I think they're trying to do everything in their power to be like, we're not doing that again. We're going to make it good. We're going to make it right. And they're like super over preparing for it, which is why we haven't seen anything in God knows how long.
The unfortunate thing that some people still don't get is that you can't even do yearly releases anymore. Video game development just takes too dang long now. You need at least 2 years.
It's too long.
That said, yeah. That said, it has been like 6 years now since Mega Man 11. Like, come on, guys. Yeah.
I feel like you've put enough padding on the walls, in the corners, floor. I can bounce on these walls, for Christ's sakes. Just like, I feel like they want to come back with something so immaculate. It's like, I just don't think it's gonna happen. I think what you need to concentrate is to just make something good, build the masses. Then if you want to crank out some sick high quality stuff, sure, but you can't just like hope. You can't have people waiting forever, because we are getting older, and hell, some people are just kind of not turning away, but they're just tired of waiting.
Yeah, I think all of us here feel that way. It's like, it'll happen when it happens, but it ain't holding my breath.
Yep.
Yeah, they definitely been doing a lot to promote the brand through the collections, and
I do feel like this secret level is a good step. It's a very nice way to introduce people. Who is this blue man? This blue child in the screen? Why is he so cool? And I think they did a fantastic job in showing why this blue child is a cool guy. And
yeah, I can at least agree on that, because the details may be a little skewed, but overall, you can show this to any random person, and they would get the core concept of Mega Man and his character.
Or just even into this kind of thing in general. Like, sure, the continuity isn't correct, which is fine. I mean, I think I'm so used to Resident Evil just like changing things up. I definitely see that as like a Capcom staple. It's like if they're gonna bring up anything old, they're gonna change it up a bit. They're gonna like change some details here and there. So I didn't really mind that. It was like, oh, okay, I guess that's the way it is now. But
well,
yeah,
it's kind of like the Secret Level series is a breath of fresh air as well for Mega Man fans because over history we've been used to them changing up things for animated series as well. The Ruby Spears changed a lot of things. It's still basically classic Mega Man, but there's some major changes there. Fully Charged just completely threw everything out and rebooted it in its own vision of what classic Mega Man could have been. But Secret Level was like one of the first times where they were actually faithful to the source material. Like the little thing about Metal Man, whatever, like you can overlook it, and at the end of the day, everything else is pretty much on point, and I love it for that.
like it's amazing. I would joke and say funny things, but it's like, no, this is really solid. This is really good. I don't have. I mean, I don't have any complaints about it really. Well, except for the fact that it's just 5 minutes, and you basically just flicked me in the nose. I'm like, I want more, man. Why do you do this to me, man?
At the same time, I feel like this specific universe really does just stick well to the short format because when you try to explain more of how the lore goes, like, why are the Robomasters kaiju sized? What purpose do we need, Bomb Man to be a size of a building, or Cut Man? Because assuming the rest of them can be just as big, according to Dr. Light.
Oh, Cut Man is just a small. He's just a tiny man compared to everybody else. But no, there are a lot of questions to be answered, and we're definitely not expecting those answers anytime soon. But yeah, we'll have to.
I have been reading a lot of opinions online since the short came out, both from fans and other people I haven't seen in the fandom. I don't know if they're like Mega Man fans or not, but it seems like the universal review for this game is it freaking knocks my socks off. But why is it so short? Why can't we get a full series of this? Of just this? Screw the rest of Secret Level, just give me a series of this, and I fully agree with that.
Just want more.
Yeah. Thankfully, there is good news. On the same day that the Mega Man short dropped, we also got the news that Secret Level did well enough to be greenlit for Season 2. And the director of Secret Level has gone on record in the past, according to Rockman Corner, that if any of the shorts in Season 1 would continue, it would be Mega Man. So that seems like a good bet that Mega Man will return for Season 2. So hopefully we get something more than 5 minutes next time.
6 minutes.
6 minutes.
Yeah!
The exact same brain cell. I mean, hey, the more the merrier. I say, like, I'm invested. I'm intrigued. I'm super down for it. Do we even say where this is at? Like, just as a courtesy.
We said at the beginning, or I did.
Okay.
It's on Prime Video for anyone who's not aware. I've been confused about this, but at one point the Capcom Creators Discord channel mentioned that it was going to be on the Mega Man YouTube channel or Mega Man social media channels in general, but I haven't seen it on there, so maybe plans changed on that, but definitely if you have access to Prime Video, it's on there.
Which, if you have Amazon Prime, you do. If not, borrow your mom's account.
Yeah, because all you need is Prime. You don't need anything else. There might be an ad, maybe, but I mean, it's kind of minuscule. But otherwise, yeah, that's where it is. Prime. All you need is a Prime account. So if you have one, someone in your family has it, you have access to it, and it's you don't got to pay extra for it.
Yep. It's not one of those where, oh, you have the Prime membership, but you actually have to pay more for this. It's not one of those situations, thankfully.
Yeah, this is they're all free to watch, so that's a good thing. I appreciate that.
Well, overall, guys, I think we've given our opinions on like how we feel about the short itself, right? Like we all agree that it's pretty amazing for what it is.
We want more. We want more. Yes.
We want more.
We're definitely in unison with that one.
Hopefully, they hear our cries. That's all I could say.
Either make more or capitalize on it. Something.
Yeah, I feel like they've been hearing our cries for the past who knows how many years. They kind of just tuned it out. So, but yeah, please capitalize on this. Like you have something really nice. Please do something with that. Make a figure of of Rock. Just, that's what you're doing. You might as well, but yeah, definitely more. Like honestly, I'm not saying it'll happen, but if it even goes beyond season 2, I'd be pretty stoked. To be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this episode set up Rock's transformation into Mega Man, but hopefully season 2 we get to see Mega Man in action. That'd be hype enough for me. It is funny. Like I know it's because it's 5 minutes, but it's kind of amusing that this whole short was carried by only 2 characters.
This is true.
Sometimes that's all you need for a good story.
Roll once again, getting the short end of the stick.
Oh,
that is something. Yeah, that was something I was wondering about after I watched it. Like, where is Roll in this? Wasn't she a helper robot too?
She's also kaiju sized.
Rock being the only normal sized robot.
I mean, if Mega Man does in fact get that season 2, there is a chance that she could appear. I feel like they wanted to keep this as simple as humanly possible. They're like, just Dr. Light, Rock, and a Robo Master. Whoever it
yeah,
is.
they kept it laser focused on like Rock's story, essentially.
Exactly. Yeah, they wanted to. I felt like I if anything, I think that was the correct decision because a thing I kind of notice sometimes is like when you try to introduce somebody to a thing, you have to kind of start slow because if you just start overloading them with information and all these characters and things like that, it's like you might lose them. So I think they did a fantastic job just keeping it very simple. Just dad and his robot son, and there you go.
I think that might be the reason. So when I think about it, in the context of what we got in the short, I don't know how much Roll would actually add to it, other than just being a cheerleader like she always is. I just don't see it. Like, if anything, it'd be like, oh, well, if we add Roll, now it's going to be 6 minutes. Yeah, so, the omission...
Like, I can help too. No, only one of you.
Yeah, like, the omission is weird from a lore perspective, but I kind of see why they did it. Poor Roll.
Just adding on to my point, that this whole concept was just made for this short format.
Yeah, maybe we'll see her in season 2.
That's my guess. My guess is that's when they... If anything, we might even see Wily in season 2. Maybe.
I think that's definitely a bet, since hopefully season 2 will be about Mega Man going up against Wily.
Yeah. Or at the very least, hear the very, very lovable ship sound.
At the very least, the battle... I'm sorry?
No, I was going to say, I hope they crank that noise to like 11. when they
definitely
Wily in this little funny machine flying around.
Yeah, they could do that, or since they set it up in the short, they could always just do the battle with Metal Man.
I feel like that's probably what they're gonna do. They did mention Metal Man. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's like why would you mention Metal Man unless you got a reason for
that
it?
That might be the first thing he gets. Oh my god, just like the games, you get Metal Man first.
And now he's gonna be OP.
Yeah, I can't. I feel like I can't. I feel like I've given this so much praise and it's like super worth it. I like it. You should watch it.
It deserves it. Yeah, I know we kind of spoiled it in this discussion. Not that there's much to spoil, but if you guys are still interested in watching it after hearing us talk about it, in case you haven't watched it yet, why haven't you watched it yet? By the way, you should watch it.
You could have watched it 8 times while watching us.
Oh, true.
You can. I'm not gonna lie. I kept replaying that transformation sequence over and over just because the music is so good.
Yeah, they did such a good job. I mean, yeah, like we've said, this is like such an overplayed theme, but it's like because it's good, and they
I was just not. I was not ready for how good it was going to be.
That's true.
It hasn't beat Exo Primal for me, but it's still great.
Yeah, Exo Primal is up there as well, but I think the secret level version definitely hits the right notes in context to the animation.
Yeah, it's more cinematic.
Yeah, it really gets you pumped up, ready to go.
Is what you hear during the Capcom logo in the live-action movie.
Oh, would they go back to like the Super Nintendo days and you hear like the little Capcom jingle? Nice.
Oh yeah, that takes you back for sure.
Yeah, that could happen because the Sonic movies have a choir saying Sega.
I sometimes wonder whatever did happen to the Mega Man live action film that was supposedly being worked on by Netflix.
Just hanging out with Tyson.
I guess it is. So we haven't heard about it in a while. Like last thing we heard about that was the guy that worked on the Batman was penning the script, and that was like the last thing we heard.
Because then the Batman got a sequel and a TV show spinoff.
Well,
sorry, but DC pays more.
it's true. Mega Man's low budget, even in the film industry. Anyway, guys, do you have any last thoughts about the secret level Mega Man or anything else we discussed today?
What's so secret about it?
I've said, yeah, like I feel like I've said all that I can. Really, like, no, genuinely speaking, you should watch it. Why haven't you watched it? And I hope we get more. For real.
Go show your friends and then get them the Legacy collections, which are currently on sale for mad cheap.
Oh yeah, true.
Yep.
Then start start with Mega Man 1.
There you go. Something that you just reminded me of something. I think it's on the webpage or something, but they showed like, okay, we're having a sale before Secret Level comes out, where we're gonna have the featured games on sale, so you can buy them in anticipation of the series. Under the Mega Man episode, they had Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. I guess because it's the latest release, but it's still kind of funny, even though it's not a Battle Network short.
Listen. Or do you want to start with that?
Yeah, here's
that
the featured game.
Do you want to start with that one as well?
It's just like, imagine watching a short about Mega Man 1 and be like, okay, now check out the featured game, and you just see Battle Network.
That is pretty fun.
Look, there's a little bit of Battle Network inspiration here. He's got a bit of black on his suit.
True. And both first games were stellar, to say the least. You know?
Bomb-Man is in both.
That true. Oh.
Well, you're not wrong.
I see the vision. I understand it.
Oh man. Well, guys, thank you to you fellows for joining me on this discussion. It's been a lot of fun.
It was.
And actually, on that thought, where can we find you guys at?
Well, I stream every weeknight, usually around 9 p.m. Eastern, over at twitch.tv/ThyGameplay or youtube.com/ThyGameplay. I do multi-stream on both ends. You could also find me. I'm trying to stay away from it, but I am on X. Either Thy Gameplay or Thy Content Playa if you want more content related news. And then I have a Blue Sky as well, which is Thy Gameplay. So you can find me there.
Well, I also stream on Twitch. My schedule is very inconsistent, but I at least try to do at least once per weekend. I'm just not good at that. But anyway. I am also on YouTube. You've probably seen me if you looked up anything Mega Man related, but you can find me at MegaQuint on both YouTube and Twitch. I recently started uploading again after taking a very long hiatus.
Hold on.
But I'm back.
He's back, baby.
Welcome back. You know what's the funniest thing too? Like, I get it. Like anything Mega Man related, anything, they look you up. They don't even look you up. They just look up the thing, and there you are. You're like the encyclopedia when it comes to anything gaming, Mega Man gaming. So I've heard it from many people. It's true. You're just the guy. You have like the commentary less stuff. You're there.
Yeah, definitely. He's the go-to guy if you want non-commentated playthroughs to put into your videos.
The source, essentially.
This will be one of those coming up soon for Mega Man ZX.
Oh, there you go. Look at that.
Even Capcom Taiwan's taking his footage.
For the wrong games, but that's...
Man.
Good times. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. And as for myself, of course, you can always find me on here, the ShadowRockZX YouTube channel, and x.com/ShadowRockX. I also have a Blue Sky, ShadowRockZX, and we got a Discord server as well if you want to check it out. It's in the description. I'm still working on Mega Memories episode 0, where I talk about my childhood first games leading up to my first interactions with the Mega Man brand. And it's about 50% complete now. If you are a paid member, actually, you can watch a preview of that 50% completed episode right now. Other than that, thank you guys once again. And until the next one, rock on and have yourselves a great time zone.
Peace out.
Oh, and Merry Christmas.
Why are y'all calling it X?
Oh, yeah. Merry Xmas. That sounds more appropriate.
That's true.
God damn it.